All right. I think I'm live. Am I live? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Okay. So, I want to show you what I've been working on. I have been working on some new squares, kind of called a mosaic tile-like square. I don't like this one, so I'll use this one. Using some really pretty soft yarn. Now, one thing I want to tell you is this yarn is only available from Ice Yarns. And unfortunately, Ice Yarn is located in Istanbul, Turkey. So, needless to say, I ordered this yarn. It was pretty reasonable. I have a link below for both yarns that I'm using. Um, and I have a link below for Creative Grandma where I got inspiration to do this mosaic tile square. However, her squares are huge and I'm not making any huge squares. I think the more squares you have, the prettier your Afghan's going to look. I do not know why there's so much gold in this one ball of yarn that I'm using, but this one had a lot of purple yarns. This one had a lot of gold yarns. I don't know. I'm only on my second ball of yarn and I have all of these. But then again, I use this yarn for other stuff. I was making other squares, testing out different things. Good morning, Shatika. I was testing out different kinds of squares, what I would like, what I don't like, and then I'll end up in the garbage. I don't unwind and roll up yarn. So these are the mosaic squares. I want to show you guys how to make a seamless join. As you can see, these are all seamless joins. So it just looks like another stitch. If you join it the traditional way, where you just go into the top of the chain 3, join it the traditional way, you squish off and you damage that one piece of a stitch. So you're damaging that loop. I don't want to do that. I found when I sewed my other one, when I stitched it together, crocheted it together, the places where I joined and then tied off my yarn, it damaged that stitch and it was a bitch to get into the backs of that stitch because it did no longer exist. It gets absolutely distorted. So there's no stitch. So I decided to take the route of doing this seamless. So when I show you guys how to sew these together, you're going to love this pattern and you're going to love it because the blanket will stay flat. If you were to crochet your squares together using a single crochet, as most people do, they put their squares together and then they just single crochet them and then they stay poofy like this. Okay, I don't want that. I want it to lay completely flat. And I don't want to lose any of my design whatsoever in my square if I use that crochet to a single crochet row to crochet them together. I don't want to do that. So I love this yarn. This yarn is beautiful. I mean, it's worth it to get it. When I purchased it, I had to pay like 40 bucks, close to $40 anyways, 36 something. Thank you, Joffer baby. Hi, welcome. Yeah, so anyway, when I ordered it, I was like, shit, I live in Canada and it's coming through FedEx and it comes to you very quickly because they ship overseas and it comes FedEx. But I had to pay custom charges because I live in Canada and we get charged for almost anything we buy out of country. So anyway, it was like $36, I think. So it was, yeah, it was 16 something because it was 2 packages. I ordered what did I order? How many did I order of this? I don't remember. Oh, I ordered 16 balls. So I have plenty of this yarn to play with. Now I went on to Mary Maxim, and you guys in the States have a Mary Maxim in the US. I ordered my Mary Maxim. This from Mary Maxim is Yarn Inspirations Carons Simply Soft. This is my go-to yarn that I make all the edges with because it's very, very soft. And so is this ice yarn. And if you guys can see in the camera, it's kind of a little bit, I don't know, fuzzy-ish. Can you see the fuzz on it? It is super, super soft. It's not mohair. Let's see. It's 30% wool and 70% acrylic, and it's called Lana Bella. So having said that, when you're working with yarns that have a little bit of wool in them, you cannot throw these in the dryer. You do not want to throw this in the dryer. So you want to wash it on a very gentle cycle, take it out, and lay it down flat over top of something that's flat and just dry it out. The crocheted blankets dry very quickly when they're made with wool. You can go ahead and test one and throw it in the washer, throw it in the dryer, but you're going to have shrinkage, and I don't want to do that. So remember that this does have 30% wool in it. And the wool is just so soft. Like I hate wool, but I can feel this on my skin, and it's extremely beautiful. It's just silky. So bear that in mind. It has wool. If you don't like wool, don't buy that yarn. It's not your average kind of rough wool. Like I was playing with just a regular acrylic ball of yarn, and oh my God, I couldn't even stand it because it's just like playing with like crocheting cotton. It's just I can't even stand the noise of regular acrylic cottons. So this one is very soft. It does split when you're crocheting, so you got to be careful with this. This one, not so much. This one, yes, because you can see it's twined very loosely, and the twine in it causes it to split, but it is extremely soft, and it crochets up so pretty and so soft. So having said that, with the wool and the Caron soft yarn, you're going to have yourself a really, really soft, textured. This is textured because of these treble stitches here. They cause it to have a little bit of texture. So I have 4, I have 5, I have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So my goal, and I want a nice big quilt, my goal is to do 10. So I wanted to do 20 because I need 20 to show you guys how to sew these together, because I'm doing 10 across and 12 rows down. So just in case it shrinks a little bit, even when you wash it, wool might. The thing is it tells you absolutely dick all. It just says made in Turkey, because it is made in Turkey, and that's where it comes from, right from Istanbul. It does not give you washing instructions, which I find that really, really odd. Oh, yes, it does. So wash at 30 degrees Celsius. So don't use super hot water to wash your quilt. Good morning, Jan, or your crocheted blankets. And it's do not iron and do not dry and do not bleach. So just throw it in the machine, wash it up on a gentle cycle, and lay it out flat to dry. And that's all you got to do with this. Again, I never realized this even had wool in it. So you could see the little pieces of the strands. I just pulled that piece out. This gets all crocheted up in it. But yeah, let's so I have 19 squares. I need 20 to do two rows. So that's a pretty good stack I've done in a couple of days. I think it's pretty. I like it. I love this yarn. I'm glad I got 16 balls of it, because I'll tell you, I'm going to want to make something. I'm going to want to make another design with this yarn. I just got to find something that's going to suit this variegated yarn like this. I just haven't found anything so far that suits my fancy that I want to keep making repetitively. But here's 19 squares. And I'm going to show you how to do one square here. So ice yarns, this is the yarn I'm using. Very, very pretty. Link is below for ice yarns, for Mary Maxim. Now, one thing I'm going to tell you, I feel really bad and I feel so stupid. I should have bought way more than 8 balls of this the other day, because this comes really fast from Mary Maxim, because it was on for $3.99 a ball and now it's back up to $6.99. I went and checked today and I was like, shit. Because this is my yarn that I use to border everything, to do my borders with. I love this yarn. It's perfect to crochet with, and it's very, very soft. It doesn't feel like you can see the sheen to it. It's very shiny, which means it's really, really soft. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure you can get this Simply Soft yarn anywhere. But I just typed it in Google, and Mary Maxim was the one that came up. Michael's came up. Michael's wanted $7.99 for a ball in Canada. I was like, screw that. And then I seen the Mary Maxim one for $3.99. I was like, yeah, I'll buy 8 balls of that. So that's where I got this from. I still have some from before. So anyway, this just came in. So I love this. This is so pretty. This one color here, I linked it below to get this color, but they do have all different kind of color variations. I linked this particular one that I'm using below. So I just love all the colors in it. Bright, very, very bright. All right, so remember, we're going to do a seamless join so we don't lose our little loops. These loops will become quite vital when you're sewing your squares together. These little stitches across the top, if you make a regular join, you're going to lose that. You're going to distort that stitch, and it's going to be hard to go into the back loops, because when we crochet this together, it's going to be all the back loops. Okay, so hopefully that helps you guys to understand what I'm trying to do here. So I'm starting with the white, of course, because we got to do a center always. Get me some yarn here, and I stitch these up pretty quickly because I'm a pretty quick crocheter, and I crochet pretty fast. But I'm going to come up as close as I can so you can see how to do the mosaic tile. Now, how many of you don't know how to make a magic ring? A magic ring can be a very tedious thing to do, but believe me, if you want your holes in your middle to stay consistent, like say like this, see my holes? I want them to all be roughly this size. And it kind of, a magic ring is going to help you with this. If you do a chain 4 and join, sometimes your ring's going to end up one size, some are going to end up a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller. It just all depends. So make a magic ring. I'll show you how to make a magic ring. So here is the end of my yarn right here. Take your 2 fingers, okay? Don't wrap it this way. Don't do that. Take your 2 fingers, take a piece of yarn, leave a piece of yarn hanging because you want something to crochet in. Take your working yarn, wrap it around, and cross it over like that. And hold it like this. So you see, there's my tail. There's the tail right there. And there's my working yarn here. Take your crochet hook, go underneath this loop here. Hold on to your tail though. Press it, like hold it with your thumb. Hold on to the tail. Grab this loop, twist it up. Then go underneath here, wrap this around, pull it through, and pull it tight. Now you've made a magic ring. So pull down on this. So you're going to have it where it's a little bit twisted inside. Just pull it out. No big deal. It's imperative that you cross it over. Okay, so now this ring is way too big. I don't need it that big to put 12 double crochets in it. So I'm just going to hold this knot here, and I'm going to take my ring and make it a bit smaller. So make sure you tighten that right away. And then first, do you want me to show you guys one more time? Let me do it again. Okay. Wrap your working yarn, hold your tail over here, hold your tail with your fingers, and wrap it, cross it over like this. Take your crochet hook, and I'm using a size 5mm crochet hook, or H8 American terms, 5mm. Go underneath the first one, go under, grab this one, and twist it up like that. Pull up a loop a little bit, grab your yarn here like this. Just grab this yarn and come through that loop you made and pull it tight. And there's your tight loop. And make your ring a little smaller. Take this out of the center, because that's what ends up happening, and do that. There's your magic ring. Super, super easy. Once you get the knack of it, you're going to make all your stuff like this when you're doing this. So you're going to start with a chain 3. So there's chain 3. And I am going to weave that in. So I'm holding the tail behind. And I'm going to do 2 more double crochets. So you wrap your yarn in the hole, pull up a loop, wrap your yarn around, pull through 2 loops, and pull through 2 loops. There's a double crochet. And I'm going to keep these close together, so we're going to make another one in there, pulling through 2 loops. Now between these sets of 3, this is called a granny cluster. Chain 2. So chain 1, chain 2. Now we're going to put 3 more double crochets in that magic ring. So go down, pull up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2. So now you have this little space here. Wrap in the loop, pull up a loop, wrap, pull through 2, pull through 2. That's 2. One more. Wrap in there, loop, pull up 1, wrap, pull through 2, and pull through 2. And now we're going to chain 2. 1, 2. Now don't worry about how these are spaced, because your magic ring is going to pull that all nice and circular for you. Okay, again, 3 more. You want 4 granny clusters in this magic ring with 2 chain spaces between all of them. So you should have 4 granny clusters and 4 chain 2 spaces. And it's imperative you keep those chain 2 spaces. So in the ring, you're going to make 1, 2, and 3. And then you're going to chain 2. Chain 2. Now that ring is pretty big, so I'm going to just tighten it up a little bit. You can see I've got you can see where my corners are basically starting to form right here. Now we've got to do our last 3 double crochets, 1 granny cluster, 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to chain 2. And now I'm going to show you a little trick. This is the way I've always done joins. When you have a chain representing a double crochet, sometimes your chain gets so distorted you cannot find where the loop is, or you just can't see where you actually have to join your stitch. So what you do is you go back here and you count. There's the first one. There's the second one, because these are the 2 easiest stitches to see. This one. So you have to go into the top of that chain 3 right here. Okay, so you're going to take your Where are you? Oh, I'm grabbing the wrong one. So if you're having trouble finding it, just count from here. There's 1, 2, and go back in, and you need to go into the top of that chain 3. So we're going to go into the top of it, like so. We're going to grab the yarn over the hook, and we're just going to pull it through that loop. And then I like to just pull up and tighten that join. Now the reason I say to do that is because you need 2 stitches. 1, 2 stitches. You see, I still have my 2 stitches. You need to slip stitch through the first one. So pull through, grab a loop, pull through, and there's 1 slip stitch. Now you're going to slip stitch into that next one. And the reason we're doing this is because we want to end up in the chain 2 space. So you're going to slip stitch into the chain 2 space and pull through. Now we are where we need to be to start making our corners. But first of all, let's close our ring. So what you do is you just hold this with your thumbs and pull that nice and tight. And there's your nice small ring. So they stay consistent. Now, because when I crochet, I have this wrapped around my baby finger and this over top of this finger. This is the way I've crocheted all my life. This little bugger likes to get raveled up somehow in my yarn. So what I do is right away I weave this in. I don't leave this tail hanging. It is too long, and I just weave it in right away. So this is how I weave in. Especially when you're working with a very soft yarn, it has a tendency to pull out after you've weaved it in. So what I do is I get a darning needle. That's a pretty big fat one, to be honest with you. And I just go underneath some stitches and pull it tight. But I'm still going in the direction of the way I crocheted this. So I'm going clockwise. Now, take your needle and split your yarn. See your yarn here? You're going to take your needle. You're going to split it like so. You're going to skip over where you came out, and you're going to go back now. Just weave it back and split that yarn. Now you're going to go back again, and you're going to split the yarn again like so. I'm splitting the yarn. See it? It's split with the needle. Going back in this circle or into these stitches underneath. And you want to do this 2 or 3 times. Now I'm making it really thick there, so I'm just going to move on over to this next cluster here. And I'm going to go back and forth a couple of times so I know this yarn is never going to loosen and it's never going to be a mess. So make sure you split the yarn, pull it through, pull it through. And one more time. And I want it to be so tight that I'm splitting all of it so that it'll never come out. And that is done. And then I just snip it off. So I know my ring is not going to ever come apart. And that's why I like to do my weaving in right away. So now this is your last row of white to make your granny square. You want to do your 4 corners. And that's going to give you the shell of your square. So as you can see, it's just two rows of white in the center, or whatever color you're using. It doesn't have to be white. It's whatever color choices you use. You want to start with the chain 3 in your slip stitched chain here, where you slip stitched in there, chain 3. You're going to do 3 double crochets, and this one counts as a double crochet. Your chain 3 always counts as a double crochet in a granny cluster. So you're going to make 2 more. So there's 2. There's my 3. You're going to chain 2, and you're going to put 3 more back in that same area where you were, same hole. You're going to chain. You're going to do 3. You're going to do 3 crochets, 2 chains, 3 double crochets. Now you're going to chain 1. After you've completed your corner, your 2 granny clusters in your chain 2 space, chain 1. Now we're going to move over to this next corner and we're going to do repeat with this here. So 3 double crochets. See how this yarn splits? It splits real easily. There's 2. There's 3. Chain 2. 3 more in the same space. Just scooch them over with your, see how it splits on me? See that? So you got to make sure you catch that all the way and chain, and finish off. And there's 2. And there's 3. So there's another corner done. 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, and chain 1. Now we move on to the next corner and do the same thing. All 4 corners. So I'm just going to whiz through this so you don't need me to repeat because it gets monotonous. Chain 2, 3 double crochets. And it's a really good idea to get yourself trained to always weave in your ends as you finish your rounds where you're changing colors. If you end up with a square at the back with like 500 different, it gives you this incentive to just put it down and put it away. You don't want to weave in all those ends and then you don't pick it back up. If you weave in every single row as you go where you change colors, look at how pretty even the back looks. You're not going to find yourself wanting to put this down because then you don't have to look back and go, oh, I got to weave in 12 ends. Yuck. So yeah, you just don't want to do that. So this one here is our last row of white, and then we're going to change colors. Now, there is all kinds of ways to change colors. I'm going to show you the way I do it because I just find it more secure. Some people, I will show you, some people just put their yarn on. Make sure you chain 1 on the very last stitch. So again, you don't know where your top of your chain is, count back. See your double crochet here? You know there's a loop on top of that. So 1, 2, and my join has to be right in there at the top of my chain 3 space or chain 3 spot. So I'm just going to push this in there and I'm going to slip stitch it. So pull your loop through and through. Okay, so I'm considering this done, so I'm going to chain 1, chain 2, pull up a loop, and cut this. So the reason I chain 2 is because when you take your fingernail and pull down, you make yourself a nice, big, secure knot. So you know that this is not going to fall apart on you. Get your needle, weave it in right away. Don't leave it hanging. I'm telling you, you'll regret it. So I like to go, because I have that big knot, I like to go in right in this stitch, right below, beside it, to pull that knot down. So the knot is behind the work. And then I just weave my way down these stitches. I don't care what I'm going, it's white is white. Just don't pull it tight or you'll distort your square. And then I run it behind these 6 double crochets in the corner. Don't pull it tight though. You don't want to distort your square, but you do want to split your yarn as you're weaving it. So I'm going to go under here and I'm splitting my yarn because I'm going backwards. I go back and forth a couple of times. That way you know it'll never come undone. And then split the yarn. Oops. And just push that through. Split. Done. So that is weaved in nicely. Snap it off. So there is your little mini granny square. So that's what you need. That is your base row. And if you want, you could just sit one day and make a whole bunch of just these, because then you can just go ahead and start using your colored yarn, pick up your centers, and start right away making on all your design here. Okay, so where did my crochet hook go? Right here. Now we want to get this really pretty mosaic design, make this very, very gorgeous. Now a lot of people, we want to start in any one of these chain 2 spaces that are in your corners. You can start in any one, doesn't really matter. Just pick a corner. Some people join their yarns. I'm going to show you how they do it. They just wrap it on here and pull it through. I don't find that secure in any way, shape, or form, so I always make a knot. I just make a ring. I leave enough yarn to weave in. Now this is how I do it. Other people have all different what kinds. You could take your crochet hook off here. You can put it in the loop there and pull it through. It really doesn't matter. Just as long as you've got that knot there. That way you know it's secure. So you're just going to go in there, grab yourself a loop, and slip stitch it through that knot. And the reason I like to do it that way is because you chain 3. Now see this bubble here? Take your string or your yarn and tighten it. Now it's gone. It's gone, and that's secured. And now we're going to crochet this, weave this in behind as we crochet our corner here. So let me pull out some yarn. And you're going to do the same thing you did here. You're going to do 3 double crochet. So this counts as 1, so you got 2 more to do in your corner. It's a little awkward to hold that piece. Chain 2. And then I just drop it after I do the corner. And you'll weave it in, do your 3 double crochets, and chain 1. So now I'm just going to take this, drop it. I'm going to do a couple of stitches and weave it in, because this really gets tangled a lot in my yarn, and I hate that. So I'm going to try to put it over there, because it does end up wrapped up in my yarn. Now you're in between your corners. You've got your granny cluster here, and you got this center piece. You've got to work on the row below, in the double crochet on the row below. So there is the middle one. There's 3 there. So of course this one's got your chain 3, double crochet, double crochet. You want the center, and you want to go front post treble. So a front post treble, first of all, make sure you do chain 1. Do 1 double crochet first. So wrap your yarn, do 1 double crochet in that space. Now for a treble, and I don't know what they call it in the UK. I just know a treble is you wrap your yarn twice around your hook, twice. You're going to take your hook and you're going to go into that middle front post. You're going to go from the front to the back, and you're going to pull up a loop, but you're going to leave everything on top. You're going to wrap your yarn, and you're going to pull up a loop. Now pull up your loop that it's even with your work. You see how long of a loop I pulled? And I'll explain to you why you pull up a loop like that. So you wrap your yarn, pull through 2, wrap your yarn, pull through 2, wrap your yarn, and pull through 2. That is a treble stitch. Now, if you were to just crochet it really tight to the work, your square will buckle, okay? If you don't pull up a little bit, like a 1/2 inch, or the size of a double crochet, whatever, just pull it up enough that it reaches there. You'll see again. So do a double crochet in that same loop, so you have 3 stitches in there. So you've got a double crochet, front post treble, and a double crochet. So you have this. Okay. Now you're going to reach your corner, so you're going to chain 1, and you're going to do 3 double crochets in your corner. You're going to chain 2, 3 double crochets in your corner. Not sure what happened there, but anyway. One thing about this ice yarns, I will tell you right now, it's not your consistent size yarn. So it's thin, gets thick, it gets really thin, thick. That's the way this yarn's made. You cannot tell that. You can see right here where it was really thick, but that's the way, that's what gives it this textured look. It's just so cool. Some people don't like that, don't like thick, thin yarn. Well, this is not the yarn for you. Chain 1 when you've done your corner, you've done 3, chain 2, 3. Now you're back here between your corners. So 1 double crochet first. Wrap your yarn twice for a treble. Drop down into the middle of these 3 here, and you're going to put your hook between and bring it up between. So it's in the middle of those. Yarn over, pull up a loop, and I pull my loop up to where my crochet hook is basically straight with my top of my work. Wrap your yarn, wrap it around your hook, pull it through those 2, wrap, pull it through those 2, wrap, and pull it through those 2. There's your treble. And now you're going to place another double crochet in there, and then you're going to chain 1. And now you're back at the corner. So you're going to put 3. Jeff, can you give me my coffee off there up there? It disappeared. See, I can see spots of this yarn where it's really thick here and super thin here. But that's the way they make it. It's not garbage yarn. It's not that at all. Okay. I love this yarn. I love working with it. It's very, very soft. It's very silky. So there's my 3, chain 2. Do 3 double crochets in the corner, and then you're going to chain 1. Now we're going to make a double crochet between our corners. There's 1 space between our granny clusters. Wrap your yarn twice. Go down to the middle crochet, the middle double crochet on the row below. The row below. And this gets a little trickier as we get further up on the rows. There's 3 rows I do of the color, but you're not working in the white all the time. The 3rd row, you're working in that treble, and you're working in the corners here in the actual purple yarn or the fancy yarn over here. So this just, I think if you use a contrasting color, it just makes those stitches pop if you used a contrasting color. If you make it all one color, it'll still be pretty and textured. And pull up a loop, wrap your yarn, pull through 2, wrap, pull through 2, wrap, pull through 2. That one is done. And double crochet goes in there. And you can see the yarn is much thicker than it is over here. Chain 1. See, this one's a bigger treble and this one's a skinny one. But I just think that's what really actually gives it a lot of texture, and I don't know, it just looks really cool. All right, so we're into our last corner here. So you do 3. Very silky yarn. Chain 2. 3 more. This one's got a lot of purple, this one. And you're going to chain 1. Now we're into our last one, so wrap your yarn, do a double crochet here, and then we're going to do a treble in a front post in the row below, in the middle one. Oops. Oh my gosh, my hook. I like to bend this corner out of my way because when I'm wrapping my yarn, it snags it. So I wrap it, pull it through, wrap it, pull it through 2 loops, wrap, pull through 2, wrap, and pull through 2. There's your treble. And put in a double crochet and chain 1. Now we're going to join to the top of the chain 3 for this round. So count your chains if you can't find it. 1, 2, 3. And push it in, pull through, and slip stitch. And then give that a little tug. Now you're going to slip stitch in the next 2 stitches to get into the chain 2 space. So you're going to slip stitch into there too. So slip stitch, slip stitch, and slip stitch into the chain 2 space. So now we're going to work a corner. So chain 3, do 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets in your corners. And then you're going to chain 1. So now we have 2 chain 1 spaces to work in between this double treble. So you're going to do your first double crochet. You're going to wrap your yarn twice. You're going to drop down to the row below, and you're going to pick up a stitch in that front post. So yarn over, pull up a loop at least a ½ inch. Wrap your yarn, pull through 2, wrap, pull through 2, wrap, pull through 2. So what you're doing is wrapping. So that's why it's called a treble, triple crochet. In Canada, it's a triple crochet. In America, it's a treble. In the UK, it's a double crochet. You're actually wrapping your yarn 3 times and pulling through 2. So when you wrap and pull through 2, you count how many times you do that. In a double crochet, you only do that twice. In a triple crochet, you do it 3 times. So don't forget to put that double crochet in there. See how that little bugger is getting snagged in my yarn. And chain 1. Remember to chain 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm getting rid of this. So we will just weave this in very quickly, get rid of it. And it's already weaved underneath these, so I'm going to go over top of that stitch. I'm going to split it, and I'm just going to weave it under. And I'm going to go back and forth, splitting the yarn to put this through. And here, and that's good enough. It's good and secured now. And we'll snip that off. Now I don't have to worry about that wrapping around my working thread here. So chain 1, go in here, and you're going to do another group like that, a double crochet, a triple crochet, working between your doubles. You see how you do that? From front to back and back out the front. Grab your yarn over. Hey Clint, pull up a stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through 2. And there's your triple crochet done, treble, whatever you guys call it. And then you're going to put a double crochet in there, and then you're going to chain 1. And then you're going to complete another corner. So here is a good example of thick and thin. See? See this yarn? You can really see it here. There is an example right there of thick and thin. It's very thick here and very soft and very thin here. So yeah, but it all works out. It does. It just works great. So do 3, 2 chains, 3, and don't forget chain 1. And then we're going to do 1 double crochet, triple crochet, so wrap twice, go into the row below between your 3 double crochets and grab that and pull up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, and done. Chain 1. Now we're going over to this one, wrap twice, row below, between your double crochets, pull up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. So when you do a double crochet, you pull through 2 and you pull through 2. That's a double crochet. All right, chain 1. Now we're doing a corner. So do 3, and then we're going to chain 2. I don't know if this color is ever changing. They just made this yarn weird. Now I'm working on very thin yarn, and I could tell, so I try to keep my crochet stitches consistent. So I crochet loosely when I'm working with that thinner yarn. And then you'll chain 1. And now we've got another side to put in. Double crochet here, triple crochet down here, pull up a loop, crochet through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. And then we're going to do a double crochet. And then we'll chain 1. Next one, double crochet, triple crochet through the row below, pull up loop, crochet through 2, 2, and 2. And then just doing a double crochet and a chain 1. So this is what you've got so far. So if you just pull it out and look at it, you've got yourself a pretty little square happening here. That nice little kind of like kaleidoscopy looking thing. It's pretty. Very pretty. Oops. I didn't have it wrapped. All right. Chain 1. Now our last corner, and then we're on to doing our 3rd row after we complete this side. So I'm just going to do it quickly here. So there's 3, chain 1, double crochet, trebled or triple crochet in Canada. Canadians call it a triple crochet. And pull up a loop. If you don't pull up that loop a little bit, you're going to have a tight square. Chain 1. Now we're going to repeat that. Go down. Oops. Between the crochets. Pull up a loop. That's not very big. And there's 1, 2, 3. And now we're going to join, but we're going to chain 1. We're going to join the top 1, 2, 3 into that 3rd loop. And you're going to pull it with a slip stitch, tighten it up a little, and then you're going to slip stitch through the next 2 stitches. So slip stitch 1, 2, and then slip stitch into the chain 2 space. So this is our last round in this icy variegated yarn, and there's what you have so far. What do you think? Pretty, eh? All right, so we're going to do a corner, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and do 2 more double crochets, chain 2, and you're going to do 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, and you're going to chain 1. Then you're going to go into your loops, and now you're going to do 3 of these across. So do 1 double crochet. Now you're going to be working in your corners. You see your corner groups of 3. So you're not working in the white anymore. You're done with the white. You're working into the rows that you did below. So you're going to wrap twice. You're going to go between your 3, and you're going to yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And now you're going to put a double crochet in there and chain 1. So now you've worked into the row below, but you worked into a purple there. And now we're going to work a double crochet in the next one, and you're going to do a triple crochet in the front post of the triple crochet you done in the row below. So you're not going into a double crochet in this middle one. You're going to go in, just go straight across that treble, pull up a loop, chain 2, or pull through 2. So I joined it in the actual treble, and then stick a double crochet in behind and a chain 1. So you've done that. See? Like that. Now the next one you're going to do again, you're going to work in that corner cluster, this cluster of 3, but in the row below. So do a double crochet, wrap your yarn twice, go in the row below between your double crochets and get the middle one, pull up a loop, chain 2, or pull through 2, and do a double crochet and a chain 1. Now you're going to work in your corner, and that's 3. And chain 2, 3, what is she barking at? And chain 1. So there's corner to corner, that's what it looks like. You've got 3 trebles in here. And you're going to do the same thing across here. So I'm just going to whiz through this because it's really not rocket science. You're going to whiz through it. Wrap twice. Here. Pull up a loop. Chain there. Chain 1. I almost chained 2 there. Double, working in that treble in the row below. And if you're a tight crocheter, make sure you pull up a loop. Make sure, or you don't want these, you want that to be flat. These to be completely flat. You don't want them to be tight because it'll buckle on you. So we're going to do this. Chain 1 in the corner now.
Mr. Jack?
Not sure where he went. I think he took the dogs out back. And chain one after your
I do feel like doing it last minute.
So there.
Get home from work
That
and
that's
then
done.
do that.
Now we're on to the home stretch here.
Shower. Gas.
Pull up that loop. Don't forget to pull up that loop. It's very easy to forget to want to do that. And don't forget to chain one. Now, last corner. Goodness gracious. Chain two. So there's my corner done. Now I just got these three to work in. And my loops are about a half an inch. I would say good half an inch when I draw up a loop. Tiki, it's a good half inch. And that's that. Now, one more. And then we're going to end this row and this color. We're going to switch back to our white. And I will show you how to do the border. Oops, what the heck is that? I wrapped my yarn twice for, oh, I needed to. Okay, so row below. See, it's easy to forget and just keep on crocheting and forget about your triple crochet. Chain one, slip stitch in the top of that, chain two, and cut off your yarn. And pull up a nice big loop. And then you just hold your finger. You see that big knot? You just hold your finger and pull it down. And there is your pretty little square. The different colors in it. This yarn is just gorgeous. It's so, I don't know, I just so enjoy working with it. I really, really do. I really, really enjoy working with this yarn. I love it. It's soft. Now this one here, I'm going to go down here through there, and I'm going backwards with that loop so I can put this yarn back in with that color. So I'm just running it behind here. And then I'm going to run it in some stitches here. And then I'll go back and forth in that group of three. Oops. It pulled out of my hook, my needle. Okay. So split the yarn. I'm just going to weave it back and forth. And we'll skip that and we'll go through some of that purple. And one more time. And there we go. Done. There you go. Beautiful. Now, we're done with this. We need the white. For the white, to get your knot to tighten, you got to use your tail end to wrap. So you just wrap it around your finger and make a loop like that. So I'm tightening. I'm not tightening with my working yarn, my working one. I'm tightening with my tail. And then we're going to just join it in any corner. Pick a corner, join with a slip stitch, chain 3, and pull this loop at the back tight. See? And now you're going to weave that in behind as always. And you're going to do 2 more double crochets. You're going to do the same thing you did without the chain 1 space. Chain 2, 3, split, tiki, and no chaining, no chain 1 between this. So drop that now and just put 3 double crochets all the way across. You should have 4 of them, 4 granny clusters before your next corner. So there's 1 group. There's 2. When I finish this, I'll show you how to crochet them together. So pretty. Keeps it flat. There's no bulkiness. There's no single crochet row showing. Nothing. It's just a pretty little stitch. I always want to I always want to put that chain 1 in there, but don't do that because this is what's going to draw it together nicely. There's no chain 1 between these, and I hate working with the chains when I'm joining these rows, and I'll show you why, because they're a pain in the ass to get into. Yeah, they are literally a pain in the ass. There is my chain 2, or my chain 2 only between your corners. I'm kind of in an awkward position here to be crocheting. So I'm snagging everything. This border row usually works up, but when we close this, we want an invisible seam. We want a seamless join. And I'm going to show you that here in just a moment. I don't want to lose any loops by joining it in the top of the chain 3. We don't want to do that. Just going around. And I'm going to join it with this yarn, with the ice yarns, not with the white. You can use white, but this white yarn is going to, or the colored yarn is going to stand out really nicely with the white. As you can see, it already does. So pretty. All right, we're on our very last granny cluster. So there we are. It should look like this. Don't chain or nothing. Pull up a loop and cut a piece off and pull it through. Now you have it looking like this. Okay, see, like that. Grab your big eye needle, put your yarn on your big eye needle. Now over here is where you want to pay close attention. Here's the first double crochet that's close to the chain 2 space. Here's this one, and here's your chain. Pull your chain down, push it in there. You want to go into this middle top 2 loops of the middle of these 3 double crochets. Okay, you want to go into that with your needle. Just take your needle and go through these 2 loops at the top. It's snagging. There we go. And pull your needle through. So you should have it like this. Okay, looks like that. Now what you want to do is you want to push this. Get rid of this top of your chain. See this chain 3? You don't want that in your way. Push this up together like this with your fingers and pull your loop. Now you see this one you're coming out of. That's the one you're going to go back in, but go in down the stitch to the back of your work like so. Just push it down the stitch. You've made yourself a loop. Okay, see the loop? You've made a loop. And you're over top of your chain 3. So push that chain 3 down. Now you want to make this loop the same size as all your other loops. So this is still a bit big. So I'll just pull on that, and there we go. Now we have a seamless join. See this? Now make sure you hold that and weave this tail in really well. So I'm going to do this very carefully. I'm holding it because I don't want to distort my little loop I just made. And you're going to go back and forth several times so that this never comes undone. And that by means, see how this sticks out, but you just push it in there. And there's your seamless join. Super, super easy. All your loops are consistent and there's no distortion from going into that chain 3. So you want to do it that way. Just makes it much more neat looking. Okay. So I'm going through back and forth, like I could feel how thick it is, but that's okay. The thicker it is, the tighter the yarn will be in there. And I think this is good. And that's going to be the end of that. We'll snip that off. And then we'll weave this one in. Very quickly. Very easily. Don't forget, this one has a knot on the end. The one you just weaved in will not have a knot on the end of it. So you just want to be diligent about how many times you go back and forth with that so it never ever comes undone. All right. So we've got 2 squares ready to go. Sew together. You should have the same amount of stitches across. Shouldn't be any different. Now we're going to take our pretty yarn. Let's get a different square. I don't like this one. No. I want to kind of, no, let's do that one. So you want to put your backs together in here. Let me just stretch my square out a little bit so they're all the same. You want to put it back to back. Your squares have to be back to back. You're going to make a loop on, well, I like to leave it a little long because I like to weave in my tails very well. So, and I'll show you how to do that when it comes here. Now, remember each corner has two chain two spaces. Each corner has two chains. So in this cluster of three, there's a chain, and this cluster of three, there's a chain there. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to go into the back loop of this chain three, so, or chain two. So as you can see, this is the chain one, chain two. I'm going to go into the back loop like that. Pick it up. And then this one, I'm going to go into the back loop, but I'm going to go this one. Oh, these stitches always go from the top down. Okay, so from the top down, you want to go into this back loop of the chain. Oops, my yarn's not quite in here. Make sure your yarn, your working yarn, is sandwiched. Oops, let me sandwich it. Sandwich your working yarn between there, and then grab your loops. So that one is the chain and that one is the chain. So they should match up. Take your yarn, put them together. Take your yarn, pull it snug, wrap it, and pull it through all these loops like so. And then you've still got your loop there to tighten up a little bit. Now we're going to work in the back loops all across both of these. So I keep my yarn like this. I take my crochet hook, I go over. So make sure you don't skip one because they should all match up. I go over this and go into the back loop. I grab this and grab a loop and pull it through. So I'm on to stitch number 2 of the clusters, the 3 clusters. So make sure you're grabbing number 2. Grab a loop, pull through. You're just slip stitching. So the final one is right here and right here. Pull up a loop. So we're going to do that all the way across, making sure you count stitch 1, 2, and 3, and you're going into the back loops of stitch 1, 2, and 3. So I'm in number 2, because they're in clusters. Third one, the third one. Pull up a loop, pull through. Go into this one. This is the first one in the granny cluster. Pull up a loop. Second one, grab a loop, pull through. Go in this one, in this one. Hi, Tessa. No, no, no! Get out of here. So you just lick my glasses. Jeez. And pull through those. So here is what you're going to end up with. A nice, pretty stitch. It's just a slip stitch, and it's not, oh, come on, Tessa, get down. It's not distorting your square. Make sure you keep your loops all the same consistency. See this one here? I didn't tighten it enough. So what you do is just pull up that loop there, tighten that one up, and then tighten up this one. That's all you do. See? Keep them all your slip stitches consistent if you can do that. So we're going to go work this right to the end. So I'm starting in my first stitch of the next group of granny clusters. I'm going to pull up that and go from the top down. So from the top of that one to the top of that one, and keeping your working thread sandwiched underneath between the squares. So here, pull up the loop and tighten that up a little bit. So now I'm on to the next group. You should have the exact same amount of stitches on every single square. Now where you're going to finish this, we'll go through our last three, which is in the corner. There's one, there's two, and there's three. Now you're going to go into the chain. You should have two chains. You're going to pick the first chain that's right beside your double crochet, and you're going to go into that chain, and you're going to end there. Okay, so that's, and look at how flat this will lay now. And look at the pretty color that just runs it real pretty. It's even pretty on the back. Very, very pretty and very, very flat. Now, you're going to join another group of two. So let's grab two more squares here. Let's see what I can dig out. Oh, where's some purple? We'll get this one here. And no, that one maybe, yeah. So you're going to still grab two more squares, put them backs together. You're going to grab your loop, and you're going to sandwich your working thread between these. So you're going to pick up, you're going to skip the first chain. You're going to go into the second chain. So skip the first chain, go into the second chain of that one, and skip the first, go into the second chain, the one closest to your crochet, and you're going in the back loops only. Okay, you're going to pick up your working thread. Oops, I caught more than the back loop there. There we go. And you're going to pull that through, and you're going to tighten it right there. So you've joined. Hang on, let's do another stitch. So I'm starting in the group of three. And this will go eventually. It does go pretty quick. Once you get the knack of it, it will go quite fast for you. Just remember, don't wrap your yarn, and keep your stitches consistent. If one looks bigger, then pull it. Pull your thread. Pull this on this. And then make sure you match them up. So I've ended now with that cluster, and I ended with that cluster, starting with the new one. It gets really quick to do. So now I'll show you how we've joined them. So you've gone right over top. Isn't this pretty? And you're going to join them the same way when you join all your rows. You skipped, remember you skipped one of these, see? You skipped them. So you're going to go into that back loop of that chain, that back loop of that chain, and same with over here. So you've got 4 chains that you're going to join together, and they should all match up beautifully. That's how your rows go together, and you've got that nice pretty design in there, and it's flat. It's very, very flat. Very flat. So what do you guys think? Easy peasy. I will go get my 2 afghans that I have completed, and I will show you guys them. I'll be right back. Give me a second to go and and do this. So I'm going to share screen because my be right back sign is right there. Oops, I'm bringing that down. So I will be right back. And move this coffee out of my way. And I'm going to go get my 2 Afghans I finished. I am so, wait till you guys see the border. And that's the border I'm going to show you in the next video. Not in this one. Because I want to have all the square, I want to have it all sewed together before I do the border. Because I like to just stay consistent. So I shall be back. I am going to quickly, where is it? I'm all right. Okay, before I do anything, I want to show you what else I'm working on. I need to zoom out a little bit because you're not going to see these quilts. So we're going to zoom out a little. All right. Okay, so I'm going to put this aside for temporarily here. Now, between making one block, I get bored, and I'm sure all of you will get bored too. So what I'm working on is making another quilt out of this yarn that I forgot I had, and I found it in my stash. I don't like this one, so I'm not using this. It's just too yucky. I have these. So I tried the Mosaic in it, and I don't like it. I don't know why. So this is just red heart crappy yarn. It's nothing fancy, but I found this on a site, and I'm just going to do popcorns in these with these particular ones, and I will crochet them together. And I'm going to use for each row, I'll use a different color of these. I have 4 colors. So this one here, I have to make the pink one. So I have the pink and the purple, and the white, of course, and the brown and the teal. I'm not using this. This one is way too in your face. This is way, it just will clash. I did make one and I stopped making it. So yeah, we're not doing it with that color. So I thought I'll go between making my blocks. This is a super easy popcorn stitch to make, and it's super pretty and it's dimensional. So it looks really, really gorgeous. I'm also doing these are for my craft fairs. These projects I'm doing are all for my craft fairs. I love these popcorn stitches. It's just very dimensional and it's very pretty. I don't like the feel of this yarn, but Jeff, let her out. This yarn softens up. This is washer dryer. You just throw fabric softener in it, and then it becomes a very soft yarn. It's not anything like that. I'm also working on something else I want to show you. Jeff, give me that bag right there. No, hello, on the box.
Which bag?
Right there, the big one. Yep. This blanket here, I will try to remember to put a link below. It's called the Unicorn Dreams. And it is gorgeous. Now, the thing with this one is the problem I had is I didn't have any peach or baby blue yarn in my this from Love Crafts. This is my leftover yarn, which I have tons and tons of it. Is the Pink Box yarns, which is this stuff here that I'm using. Nope, not this. I'm using the ice yarns in this white. It's made in Turkey. This one is 100% acrylic. So this one is washed and it says not to dry it, but whatever. But the colors are from this Pink Box yarn that I made that other granny square quilt out of. I have like, I don't know how many balls of this left. Just so many. I tried it with a popcorn stitch. I didn't like it. So I didn't continue to do it. So I'm making a Unicorn Dreams, and this one is full of unicorns in it. It's just stunning. Now, look at, I used a bigger hook. This one here is a 3-dimensional rose. I used a bigger hook and it's supposed to be this size. It is humongous. So I'm actually redoing this one. I don't know where it is in here. It's in my bag here somewhere. I'm redoing it because it's just not right. Yeah. And it's turning out much smaller. I went down a whole size, and this is the 3D. This looks purple, but it looks blue in my camera. This is the rose here, and it's so huge. This has all kinds of unicorns, rainbows, and it takes, oh geez, I don't know how many colors, lots of colors. But this is what each square is going to be sized as. I am following a pattern. The lady that made the pattern, this is one of the blocks, and this is a daisy. So you're going to make a 3-dimensional daisy, and you sew the daisy onto the square like this. Let me see if this light helps. There we go. See? Isn't this pretty? Now, I can't make any of the other blocks because I had to go back onto Love Crafts. Look at the difference in size by using a different size hook. Huge difference. So these blocks here, they get added in as fillers between the flower blocks, get added in as fillers for where the unicorns will all go. I will show you this pattern. This whole entire pattern is free. Look at how pretty. You need several yarns. I'm just using my own yarns. I'm not using the yarn they recommend because it's very small and it's extremely expensive because it's coming from overseas. So no, I just absolutely love this daisy. This here center is three-dimensional. Now I'll take you on a little tour. Let me go here and I'll show you all the blocks for this. Oh boy, where did I put them? I think they're in this folder. Yes. Okay, so, oops. Let's go to normal size icons. All right, so I'm going to click on one PDF just to give you an example. This one here, you can see it has peach in it. So this is the square that's going to get added with the flowers and the unicorn. So that's one of them. And you make the cloud, you make the little bubbles. So that's one of them. Where is it? There it is. This one here is a rainbow of hearts shaped in a U for unicorn, and it's done on a peach. That's the color I'm missing. I'm missing peach and baby blue. So when those come in, I can start working on all of these because this whole square is made in peach. I don't have any peach. All right, so on to this one. This is all free. There's a unicorn. I don't know if you can see it. Yes, you can. Is one unicorn that you sew on. Okay. These are just all such pretty blocks. There's a rainbow. That is so pretty. Again, that one's in peach. I don't have that color yet. So I just stopped working on it. I love this one here. This unicorn one is so, so pretty. Look at this. So you're going to make that one on the green. And this lady, she does step-by-step tutorials on almost all of them. I'm not going to say all of them, but it's almost all of them. Some of these I did purchase because there were extras that she made. So that one is just a regular rainbow granny. That gets worked in with the Afghan as well. And let's just show you. Look at this one. Oh my goodness, this one's just so cute. It's just a unicorn, the whole block with the ears and the colors, heart cheeks, and she teaches you, like, all of these are free. She teaches you how to put everything. She shows you every single thing you need to do. These are free downloads. There's a heart-shaped square. And this is the one I made that is humongous. So they recommend using a certain size hook. I suggest you use it. I'm using a 4. That's the one I'm working on right now. That's another flower one that I haven't done yet because, of course, it's got a lot of peach in the background. So, and the yellow and the white. It's so pretty. And it's textured, of course. I love this one. That one's so pretty too. It's a bow. It's a bow. Let me blow this up more. It's popcorn stitches made. Isn't that cute? Or puff stitches. No, those are popcorns. In row by row with it's shaped like a bow. And then you've got the butterfly one. That one is pretty too. So you're going to make 2 butterflies. They get sewn onto your granny square. These are a little different granny squares than what we're used to doing. And this one here, you need to make 20 blocks in this bobble heart. You have to make 20 of these, and you'll see why. I'll show you the actual half again. This is what borders all of them. So you're going to make 20 of them, and you're going to trim them in all the colors like she did here, but you'd have to make 20. And they're all popcorn stitch hearts. Oops, I forgot to close that one down. There's another one of a pretty flower. There's the colorful rainbow. This is the joining and the borders. There's a unicorn. I love this one with the ballooned hearts. There's your heart one. Anyway, you get the gist. What I'm going to do is just show you the finished. That is the finished thing. So she only has 7 down. She spelt her daughter's name, and it says Darcy in here. She even gives you all the lettering. So each one of these unicorns, I do have the pattern for them. I just don't know why I don't see them. Where is those patterns? That was the heart. That was just a square. I'm missing some of the unicorn. That's no. Unicorn Dreams extra patterns. Okay, these are the extra ones. These are the ones I purchased. So you're going to get that unicorn. She teaches you. You're going to get this unicorn. I think it was like $2 or $3. And you'll get this unicorn. This is the sleeping unicorn. So you get all 3. You get the ice cream. You get the little kite. And you get the lollipop. You get this one here. Party rings, it's called. You get the candy ones, the little sweets that go in with the quilt. You get this one, which is called Sleepy Moon. So it's a moon. You get the star one with the color rainbows on it. Shooting star. You get that one. You also get that one. Rainbow Rose. You get this one here. It's a colorful little tree, bubble Christmas tree. And that's it. You get all those extras to add into your quilt where she has done in here. Because I see that one is an extra. That one is an extra. That one's the extra. That one's the extra. The ice cream. The colorful rose. So some are missing here, and I don't see 10 of these. I don't know why, but I don't see 10 of them. Hi, Barb. So you guys want that, check below the video. Um, the lady that does these tutorials, her name is Hooked by Robin. She does all the tutorials for these. I will link everything below. So if you want to make this Unicorn Dreams blanket and crochet with it, it is so, she teaches you how to even sew them on, so you're not showing stitches on the back here. All right. So this is the Unicorn Dreams one I'm working on as well. So I kind of balance myself against different things to make, because it gets monotonous when you're doing the same thing repetitively over and over and over again. All right, now to show you my quilts, or my Afghans I have completed. So you guys all remember I was working on this. It took me 2 years to finish this, because this again was monotonous and boring, and I had to keep putting it away to get to a point where I just wanted to not do it anymore. So this is the one that's made with the pixie dust. It is sparkly yarn. I don't know if you can see it in the camera. It's a glitter yarn. It's got not glitter in it, but it's something in it. So this one I just done a 2-row border on it because it's so big, but it is so pretty. It's sparkly. I don't know why you can't see that in the camera. And it's fair size. It's a fair size Afghan. It is 123 rows. And there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 colors that I used. 6, sorry, I used white. White counts as a row. This white in between all counted as a row in this Afghan. And it is fair size. You can see it's pretty big. But it's got that shimmer to it. It's like, it does look like pixie dust. That's, I guess, why the name of it. This yarn I don't think is available anymore. I tried finding it online the other day and I couldn't find it. Everybody says sold out, discontinued, or sold out. So this yarn is no longer available from Michael's. It was available. That's where I got it from, was Michael's. But it is super sparkly. I don't know. I don't know. You can't see the shimmer in it. Maybe if I put the light back over it, you might see it. Anyway, you can't. So that one is complete and beautiful. And I store them in bags. They tell you not to store Afghans in bags because bags cause moisture, and moisture causes mold. They tell you to put them in a box with tissue paper. But they're going in these bags for now until I sell them on my craft fair. Of course, I'm not going to get it in now because the bag is being a bitch. It's all stuck together now. Son of a bitch. Once you bag something, you never want to take it out of the bag again. But these are stored in a very dry place, so I'm not even fretting over it. Yeah, these are not going to seal anymore. I really fucked up this bag. I gotta get a new one. There we go. And here. There we go. And there. She's back in the bag. So there we go. This one, you guys are going to absolutely love it. I don't even know if I'm going to take it out of the bag. But this one is my granny squares in all the different colors. You can see I sewed every row. Ruby, have you seen the gnome they make with toilet paper rolls and yarn? No, but I seen the gnome they made with tea towels hanging off them to put on your stove or cupboard or whatever on the handles of your stove. So this one here, I done every row with the colors. As you can see, the colors I used in my Afghan. I just used, I made colorful rows. It is stunning. This is the border. It's so pretty. So the border is 6 rows. So there's a row of white, a row of pink, row of white, row of purple, row of white, and then I topped it with the green all the way around. And they're just granny cluster rows with the little colors peeping through it like that. I love, love, love the border. It looks really good with the granny squares. You'll love this border. It's super easy, super quick, stitches up fast, and that's the quilt. I don't want to take it out, but look at how beautiful. Look at. I love these granny squares. They're just so pretty. Anyway, guys, that's it for me for today. I've made a huge mess of yarn now. Holy shit. I've made a big mess. Where do you see those gnomes, Barb? Those are probably so cute. You sit a roll of toilet paper under them. With toilet paper rolls and yarn. Huh. I'm going to have to check that out. Remember, if anyone's interested in the unicorn dreams or anything I did on today's video, all the links will be below. And I wish you guys a wonderful rest of your Saturday. God bless. Thank you all for joining me, and I'll see you guys whenever. Take care. Bye, everyone.